I never thought my breaking point would become my breakthrough. And today, in the first episode, back in Living in Alignment, because it's been a while, I'm going to be talking to you about this little baby that I pushed a couple of months ago, and I'm finally talking about it. If you're perimenopausal, navigating PMDD, or anything to do with hormonal imbalance, this will be your best friend. So stick around and enjoy this episode. Welcome, and I am so happy that you're here today. It's been a while. I took a little bit of a podcast sabbatical, and you will know why in a minute. But it's been a great time for me to reflect on so many things since our move from Australia to Spain, but actually birth this book that I'm finally talking about it on social media. And we have a brand now launched that is all about hormonal education for women, families, and workplace. But first, I want to start at the beginning. I want to start where everything sort of started coming together for me. I was 38 when I started feeling that something was off with me. When I would get my period, I would not get it as regular, or I would just get it not in the regular 24 days, 26 days, and all of a sudden it would be maybe 19 days, 20 days. That was kind of the first symptom, the first sign. After that, what I started noticing is that I was becoming, let's just say, a little bit grumpy just before my period. So it was about a week, perhaps a few days before getting my period, that I will become more irritable. I will be quite annoyed at the kids for doing something that normally they would do in any other times, and I will be fine. And I started wondering what the hell is going on with me. That was at about 38 years old, but I didn't do anything about it. At the time, I wasn't taking anything like pills or anything like that. I, in fact, had taken everything off my body about a year before that. So my body was kind of becoming aware that things were changing, and my hormones then started to fluctuate. When COVID happened, that was in 2020, I noticed that my stress levels increased. At the time, I had a square one, and my business had to be shut down because of COVID. I had to let go of people. I couldn't pay myself a salary. And I started back in the corporate world doing innovation, which is something that I particularly love doing, still do. But it was really, really challenging. And I remember quite vividly that I was about to receive my in-laws at home. This was a Sunday, it was Mother's Day. And my husband was talking to me about something, like something so minor, I cannot even remember. And I had no space between action and reaction. And next thing I knew, I was throwing my phone to the ground. It was horrible to see the afterwards. I remember my husband's face, my face going, what the F just happened? And in that moment, I thought to myself, this is not okay. And this is not normal. This is not how I usually behave. This is not how I would usually do things. And there was literally no space between action and reaction. Little did I know that my luteal phase was changing significantly, and my perimenopause symptoms were becoming really clear because of my estrogen levels and my progesterone levels really shifting quite rapidly, especially for me that I'm in the early stages of perimenopause, my progesterone. Now, around then, I remember talking to a friend who was seeing a holistic GP. This is back in Australia. And it was an amazing experience for me to talk to someone who finally understood what the hell was going on. I had gone to the GP prior to seeing her, and all I got from the GPs is like, your bloods are normal. They are fine. There is nothing wrong with you. And and then I started becoming quite worried. Like, am I making this stuff up? Like, am I actually getting quite sick about something I don't know? Like, what is going on? And I remember at the time, and I'm so lucky that Dr. Shami is one of the people that has helped this book come alive, not just because of the help she provided me, but also the support that she gave me at the time. Dr. Shami, I remember at the time, we did a very thorough Dutch test, and you can learn about what this type of test is, but it's a very thorough, unfortunately expensive test to do. It was over $500 at the time, but it was very detailed across every single hormone that we have. Our hormones really truly control the majority of our organs, and there is link to our brains. And that is why we get this brain fog. Sometimes our amygdala is becoming so much more active and aware, and that is why we can become quite irritable. Our amygdala is what it looks for fight or flight. It's quite a primitive part of your brain, and it's not your prefrontal cortex. So it's actually not looking at things in the same logical way like you used to before perimenopause, if that makes sense. So it was really clear that I had to do something about it. Luckily, I had done this really thorough test with Dr. Shami, and I was able to see that I needed a certain level of hormone therapy. So I was able to go into a very natural and holistic treatment. I was already quite active with my mindfulness, somatic psychology, and all the things that I do. And I remember we started taking just some supplements that were really helpful at the time, just to really manage my cortisol levels. We looked at my cortisol levels being quite high in the evenings. And for those who are parents or have any responsibility with parents, the evenings can get quite busy and hectic. And so I was like, great, this is the worst time to have high cortisol levels. If you don't know what cortisol levels are, it's essentially your stress hormone. So I needed to work on that. Now, I was feeling quite blessed that I was able to do this, and I started this protocol. This protocol was something that I was doing for probably about a year and a half to 2 years. And then later, I noticed that things were not particularly improving. I was becoming a little bit less moody, but I was actually navigating the world of depression, anxiety, and societal ideation. The mental health statistics for women in perimenopause that navigate mental health struggles like anxiety and what it looks like a medical depression, it is quite high. I thought I was alone. I thought I was navigating something that I had to fight on my own. I had to live the shame and the guilt of becoming this person for about a week. And then all my family had to live with this. And then the moment or a few days or the moment I got my period, I will be fine and everybody will be a little bit traumatized. And little did I know I wasn't alone. None of my friends were talking about it. And even to this day, people that I ask, they're not talking about it. They might mention a thing here or there, but no one is really talking about the genuine struggles. Now, it is okay to navigate perimenopause differently. Why is that? I truly believe, and this is my hypothesis, that what perimenopause does and hormonal imbalances do is that essentially it's like the froth on a cappuccino. They essentially kind of are the froth of your life. If you have a lot of shit going on, if you have a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved issues, limiting beliefs, lack of self worth, lack of confidence, lack of purpose, lack of self esteem, crazy household, horrible children, a partner that doesn't love you, you don't have a partner, you don't have a job, your parents are struggling, you are struggling, you have money issues, you don't know where you're going with your life, with your purpose, anything can be that froth. And when you don't have all these things worked out from a belief and mindset perspective, they're going to come to the very top. And that's when I say that I truly believe what perimenopause does to us. Of course, it is a active rewiring of our brain, but it's also for me an active output of the things that are not working with our lives. So those things are much more clear and much more open in the air for everyone to see. It's almost like those wounds that we have had for so many years, they're finally visible and we're not able to control them because our amygdala, our fight or flight, our nervous system is so dysregulated that we're not able to work the same way we used to work because our hormones and our brains are changing. The statistics are quite staggering. There is almost 62% of women that experience similar turmoil, and perimenopausal women face a seven-fold increase risk of suicidal ideation compared to others. Yet, no one was talking about it with me. Doctors dismiss it, society ignore it, and me, I was really drowning in a cycle of emotional chaos, snapping at my husband, losing patience with my kids, and really wondering, is this just who I am now? Is this the new Ali and I just have to be okay with it? But I was not okay with it. I wasn't the person that was going to surrender and go, no, well, life is a bit like that. Suck it up, princess. It was probably around mid 2022 when I saw Dr. Nixon in Brisbane. She's an amazing GP, holistic, and she does natural hormonal therapy, which is non synthetic. Now, at the time, I was quite reluctant to take what would it be called synthetic hormonal therapy. If you don't know what hormonal replacement therapy is, it is essentially a replacement that you take for your estrogen, your progesterone, testosterone, or any other hormones that your doctor or medical professional sees in your body that is lacking. For me, it was progesterone. And I remember taking this little, they're like a little kind of a little candy that you put underneath, sort of between your gum and your teeth, and you will leave it there. That was at nighttime because progesterone is pretty good to just relax your body, calm down, and then kind of fall asleep. And I did that for quite a long time. I moved from Australia to Spain, and that was quite tricky. So I am now on what it will be called synthetic progesterone, which is from all of the research that I did and everything that you see now out in the world, it is quite safe to take, and not like that study that was done in 2002 that indicated that could actually lead to breast cancer. But if you want to do more research, I will put the link in the episode for you to take a look and obviously talk to your doctor. But there is no evidence from my understanding and from the learnings that I have gathered and the insights that I've gathered from the many doctors out there in the space of hormones, perimenopause, and menopause that are actually indicating that synthetic hormonal therapy is not good for you. So my mindset changed with this, and I'm taking progesterone. And because I'm in the early stages of my perimenopause, I don't need to take estrogen yet, which will be coming sometime, I'm sure, over the next few months, years, I don't know. Perimenopause is a journey that could take anything between 4 and 10 years. Yay. And we need to ride it. We need to ride it with grace. We need to ride it with love. We need to ride it with self-acceptance, and we need to ride it with the least amount of self-judgment and the least amount of self-hate that we women develop because of how crazy we might be acting, of how we're treating our children out of the blue, or how we actually don't want intimacy with our partners when we're in our luteal phase, when we are in a in a meeting and we feel bothered and annoyed. I don't get um, a lot of what I call the 3 or 4 a.m. in the mornings night sweats. I get it probably about twice a cycle. And that is something that is okay for me. But I know a lot of women who are much more advanced with the perimenopause transition can be getting it more during the day and the evenings. And if you've seen that meme out there of that beautiful woman who is at a baseball game and she is winter and her head is literally like you can see the steam, it's pretty hilarious. So it is a real thing. Now, why am I talking to you about hormones and perimenopause and about this book, which I wrote from the bottom of my heart? Breathing is Chick. It is a guide of survival. And when I say survival, I don't say this lightly. When we moved from Australia to Spain, was a huge migration grief. And if you have ever moved from a country to another, I've done it 3 times. I moved from Venezuela to London, London to Australia, Australia to Spain. And this was by far the hardest. Number one, moving with little people. Number two, my husband had to stay back in Australia. He's now moving, living between here and Dubai. And it is very tricky still for us as a family. And number three, I'm in the midst of perimenopause. Again, my amygdala is like, let's party when my luteal phase comes in. My nervous system is highly dysregulated. So I was not in a good place. I was contemplating many things that were not pretty about my life. And I remember one day asking myself, what can I do to keep going? And the answer that I got was, you must create something creative. You must do something with your own struggles and take that pain, a suffering that it felt like so much into a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is this book. It is 256 pages of activities that are dedicated to every woman and family out there, because I truly believe that the missing link right now is that there is not enough information out there about the impact of hormones in their families. We know the disruption that is taking place. We know how little information and resources exist. Just 20% of women find family support when it comes to perimenopause and navigating it at home, and perimenopause and navigating it in the workplace. Our brains and our cognitive abilities are constantly changing, and we're really struggling, and we're just keeping it to ourselves. We're not talking about it. We're like snapping at people, but we're not talking about it. So I decided to do something about it. And that's why this book exists. That's why Bizfo now exists, which is a platform, it's a website that you can access right now. You can access it and log in and be part of our community, which is totally free, to receive information and resources from us to you, for you and your family to navigate this crazy ride of hormones with grace, with self-love and very little self-judgment. Are we going to get it right all the time? No. Do I get it right all the time? Hell no. But there are so many ways that you can incorporate into your life to feel better, to act better, to respond to yourself better, to see things with so much more grace, with so much more positivity rather than negativity. You don't want to have intimacy with your partner. Welcome to the club. Happens to all of us. You don't actually feel like you feel alive, or you have a belly, or you don't want to do things that you used to love doing in the past, and you feel guilty and like you're losing yourself. You're not alone. And that is the point of this book. Is the point of this book. I really wanted you to see that there is a way out and there is a way through. We need to navigate this together because there is no other way. So the book is all about research and is combining science-backed solutions with spiritual wisdom, somatic psychology, breathwork, and meditation. I tested, I felt, adjusted, and eventually built what I thought will be a method called the SMP method, which is a spiritual alignment, nervous system and somatic alignment, and purpose alignment. It wasn't just about balancing hormones for me. It was about reclaiming life and reclaiming your life in your own personal life, with your family, and in your workplace. So this powerful method, I realized that could help so many people. It wasn't just my fight, it wasn't just my tool to keep going. It is really about us as society to look at the neglect that we have had, the outdated medical practices, and the silent suffering of millions of women out there. And that's why this book exists. It's not just a book, it's a movement. It's a battle cry for every woman who had ever been told to just deal with it or why you're acting crazy. It is really a mix of humor. And as you can see, it is in the title, breathe in, which I truly believe we should all do. But sometimes you just gotta do like and breathe out. And that's what this hormonal journey can be about. We know from research that 50% of women reported their home's life being disrupted. 75% of women saw their careers impacted. And this isn't just a women's issue. It is a family issue. It is a workplace issue. It is a society issue. And I'm here to set the record straight. I'm here to share my story as openly as I can around the world, because I really truly believe it can resonate, especially for us women, Latina women, women who have had it tougher than other women in our society. We're not weak, we're warriors really fighting a battle no one had prepared us for. And I'm determined to make sure that we have the tools, we have the knowledge, and the unapologetic permission to reclaim our power. And I really truly believe that there is so much information out there at the moment. It is beautiful to see the work of so many influencers, doctors, practitioners, experts really putting their work, their soul, their time, their resources, their money, their love into the same thing that we are trying to do here at BizFo. I really truly believe that we can all make a difference and create a ripple effect in our lives and in the life of others. I really wanted the book to be a space for us to not feel shame. And if we feel shame, to deal with it better. That guilt that we feel that comes with these hormonal struggles. I really wanted to create a community where women and families could laugh through the chaos and really scream when needed. This is what it's all about. And find the clarity and calm that we deserve, the clarity that we've been seeking all along. So today it is really about leading a revolution in women's hormone health in Spanish and in English, because the book is also in Spanish and it's called Inhala, Exhala. And the method is not just a framework, it's a rebellion for me, it's a rebellion for you. It's for you to not have to walk your journey alone anymore. Because if you get hormonal health and you know it is going to get better, I want you to hold on onto that big wave that comes to us. I want you to know there is a way to hold on and keep going. If I hadn't held on, I wouldn't be talking to you today, but I did. And so this book exists for you, for us, for me, for the world. It is the legacy that we all need in our life. I want to read the acknowledgement of the book to you. He says, to my best friend and partner in crime, Mike, for riding the hormonal roller coaster with more grace than I'll ever know. Thank you for loving me through every high, low, and sideways mood swings. I tell you, that man is a saint. To my amazing kids, Oliver and Zoe, for seeing past my hormonal chaos, for giving my mom's fails, and loving me unconditionally through it all. You two are the best medicine. To my mother and every woman who came before me, in our lineage, I see you. I honor you, and I'm breaking these cycles for all of us. And to you, the badass holding this journal, for having the strength, courage, and humor to make it this far. You are a warrior, babe. So let's do this. That is it. That is this episode. I wanted to be super clear, super raw. I wanted to be so about what is gonna do for you, how you can find ways to not have to navigate this alone. And as I said, this book is available now. You can buy it. And if you don't have the budget, please come to our website and find resources. There will be a newsletter coming up from next week as we launch this episode with tons of different information. And for those who do not know if you're perimenopausal or if you are navigating closer your menopause, I would love for you to do it's totally free, perimenopause quiz that you can do on our website, www.bizfo.com. You will find the perimenopause quiz on the homepage, and you'll be able to see in which phase of your perimenopausal journey that you're at. It's going to tell you what sort of blood tests you can get, so you don't need to do like a Dutch test like I did, although it is amazing. But if you don't have that budget, there are tons of blood tests that you can do. And depending on which phase of your perimenopausal or menopausal journey that you're at, it will actually show you what sort of blood tests you need, certain things that you need to do in terms of supplements, which are also very, very amazing to help you, like magnesium, omega-3, vitamin D, so many things that could be very specific to you, but it will give you a list of different things. And of course, we will be sending weekly resources as we travel this journey together. If you also have a story of survival, a story about you, your family, anything that has taken you from A to B, and if you heard a story of survival, please send it to us to hello@bisfo.com. What does survival mean? If you are, oh my gosh, I'm navigating my journey of perimenopause, so I don't know if I'm perimenopausal, or I'm driving my family crazy, or I've tried this or I tried that, please send it to us at hello@bisfo.com. I would love to hear more about you. And you can also tag us on your journey we're on socials. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. I'm not yet on Facebook, but we'll get to that at some point. And we're going to be building a community as well that is going to be at a space that we are yet to be determined what that will look like. But thank you so much. It's been so wonderful. And remember, the path ahead, it is the way it needs to be for a reason. Don't be discouraged, because you're the light needed right here and right now. I love you so freaking much. And let's do this. Bye.